Think again, pot 37. My past self was Mr. Facts. I was too fixated on knowing. Now I am more interested in finding out what I don't know. As a Bridgewater founder, Ray Dalio told me, if you don't look back at yourself and think, wow, how stupid I was a year ago, then you must not have learned much in the last year. The second kind of detachment is separating your opinions from your identity. I'm guessing you wouldn't want to see a doctor whose identity is professional lobotomist. Send your kids to a teacher whose identity is corporal punisher. Or live in a town where police chief's identity is stop and frisker. Once upon a time, all of these practices were seen as reasonable and effective. Most of us are accustomed to defining ourselves in terms of our beliefs, ideas, and ideologies. This can become a problem when it prevents us from changing our minds. As the world changes and knowledge evolves, our opinions can become so scared that we grow hostile to the mere thought of being wrong. And the totalitarian ego leaps into silence, counter arguments, squash contrary evidence, and close the door on learning. Who you are should be a question of what you value, not what you believe. Values are your core principles in life. They might be excellence and generosity, freedom and fairness, security and integrity. Basing your identity on these kinds of principles enables you to remain open minded about the best way to advance them. You want the doctor whose identity is protecting health, the teachers whose identity is helping students learn, and the police chief whose identity is promoting safety and justice. When they define themselves by values rather than opinions, they buy themselves flexibility to update their practices in light of new evidence. Bad things to tie your identity. The Yoda effect: you must unlearn what you have learned. On my quest to find people who enjoy discovering they were wrong, a trusted colleague told me I had to meet Jean Pierre Burgons. He's in his late 40s and he is the sort of a person who's honest to fault. He tells the truth even if it hurts. When his son was a toddler, they were watching a space documentary together, and Jean Pierce casually mentioned that the sun would one day turn into a red giant and engulf the earth. His son was not amused. Between tears, he cried, "But I love this planet." Jean Pierre felt so terrible that he decided to bite his tongue instead of mentioning threats that could prevent the earth from even lasting that long. Back in the 1990s, Jean Pierre had a hobby of collecting the predictions that pundits had made on the news and scoring his own forecasts against them. Eventually, he started competing in a forecasting tournaments, international contest hosted by Good Judgment, where people try to predict the future. It is a daunting task.